Obviously, I think they have a lot of key players on that defensive line. I think they've invested pretty highly into it. They got a lot of dynamic guys, so I feel like it'll be a great challenge for us. I think we got a great plan in place, and it's going to be a great challenge on Sunday for sure.
You've played Dexter Lawrence now a couple of times. What is it about him that makes him one of the better noses in the league?
I mean, he's an extremely large human being, and he knows his strengths, he knows his weaknesses, and from that nose position, he knows what he wants. So I think the most important thing is just, keying what makes him good and the situations that make him good, and knowing how to, put yourself in the right position to win.
No sacks allowed last week. How pumped are you when you have a game like that?
I mean, extremely pumped. I thought we did a lot of great things, but obviously, there's a lot to build on. We didn't come out with the W, and I think that's always, the end goal, right? So, I think we clean up those things. We protect the ball. We make the plays that I know we're supposed to make. We dominate the looks that we're supposed to dominate. We'll have a better result for sure.
We always talk about the process of the O-line being a unit and you guys getting that chemistry from being out there together. How would you evaluate where that process is at now?
I think it's coming along quite nicely. I mean, throughout training camp and even now, like the coaches have always been mixing and matching guys in there, just allowing you to play next to different dudes all the time. And I think that just helps the chemistry for when, dudes are up and down. Because ultimately, this is a business where week to week anything can happen to anybody. And so I think just being able to play next to different guys like Nate Thomas, getting Brock at center sometimes and, doing that is just really good for us overall in terms of that continuity.
He's only been here a couple of weeks, but how has Kenny Clark helped the iron sharpens iron philosophy?
I mean, I think he's helped us a lot. I mean, he's a very savvy vet. He works extremely hard, and he's a dominant guy. I mean, he's truly a dominant tackle. So I think that just in practice, it just makes us have to be better. It makes us have to, take the right steps, have the right leverage and things of that nature.
Dex says that he feels like he's got a bunch of fighters in front of him to protect him. Can you talk about having that mentality, and is that what you guys want to portray?
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, we got to be the most dangerous group on the field at all times, especially if we want to dominate games the way I know that we want to. In order to do that, you do have to have that fighting mentality because games aren't always going to go your way. Like, we scored on the first drive, this past weekend, but what are you going to do when you don't score on that first drive? How are you going to respond to, those adverse situations? And I think, that'll reveal a lot about us. But I know one thing for sure, we got the right guys in that room.
With that being said, though, did Gagnon maybe take that fighter mentality a step too far?
He was just trying to replace his hands, bro. He didn't tell you. He was just trying to replace his hands, bro. I think, he kind of got out of sorts, but, he's going to appeal it. So hopefully he wins out.
Shai talked about wanting to have more burst runs this week in a perfect world, going against a front like the Giants. What's the key to making that happen?
I think, like I said earlier, dominating the looks that we're supposed to dominate. Like Coach Clayton, he talks about premier looks. And, we drill them, we work them in meetings and things of that nature. But when it comes to Sunday, I think just knowing those keys and, knowing where you're at, knowing what the play is and your responsibility in it, and if we dominate and execute the way I know that we can, we'll have those explosive runs that we're looking for.
Tyler, I know you're Clayton Adams said one of those premier looks was on that 50-yard run with Miles Sanders. Whenever y'all see that pre-snap, and I know they stemmed into it, happened so fast, is there nonverbal communication you'll have across the line, or y'all prep it so much?
I mean, there's verbal and nonverbal. I mean, and we have, we're in the room up there, and we have those looks. We know that when the front changes, we know what we're supposed to do, right? And, T still had a very dominant block on that play, and that's just, that's one of those touchdown blocks we talk about all the time. And for him to, come across and do that, that's what I'm talking about when I say executing at an extremely high level in those premier looks. So.
How he get out of there that quick?
Who?
T Steele.
Oh, bro, yeah. T Steele's really fast, bro. She is.
Fastest one, you guys?
Man, I can't say that. I think we're all pretty quick, but.
When Dak's in the lineup, you guys haven't lost to the Giants, or you had never lost to the Giants. What is it about facing this team that gives you guys so much success?
Man, I think every Sunday we're looking for that success. I think we just, we come out and we have a great plan. We got the right guys to execute said plan. So I really think that's just what it is.
With Tyler, I know you're in tune with your own blocking, but how much are you in tune with what Dak was doing in terms of his escapability last game and kind of getting out of the pocket? Was that something you just noticed in film and you're like, oh?
He's always been a strong dude, bro. And I mean, you can tell that, when those plays are kind of breaking down and he has to come and make a play, like, he has the capability of making that play, even when he shouldn't be in that situation, if you get me. So I think that's just a testament to how special he is as a player, his unique skill set for sure.
Was there one play last game where you're like, that one where you kind of shook off some guys, were like, damn, we're like, okay.
Bro, yeah, bro. It was, I can't give the play name or nothing, but we all saw it. Like one where, Jordan Davis had him wrapped up and he kind of, he got out of there. And so that was pretty impressive to me. That's a big dude. That's a big dude to have on your back and not go down. So.
CD said that Dak's been hooping.
Oh,
Since camp.
yes.
You feel like that?
I'd have to say yes, I do. I think he's been throwing, a lot of good balls. He's been diagnosing plays the right way. He's been dominating adverse situations. And I feel like you can't ask for more from your quarterback than to dominate in those situations where the look isn't what you want it to be or, the protection isn't, where you want it to be. So, yeah.
What looks different, though, than maybe past years at this stage of the season?
To be honest, he's always been the same guy. I think that's what makes him so great is his consistency. His consistency at attacking his work, his consistency at attacking the game plan, and just, the confidence that he comes out there with.
You mentioned in the offseason that Shoddy was putting it on the offensive line to decide the outcomes of these games. As the play caller, did he feel like he gave you an opportunity to do that?
I absolutely do. I think, no matter what play is called, it's our job to execute. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to continue to get better each and every day. And, we're going to execute when we need to execute. We're going to win when we need to win.
With Tyler Booker, Dak said Jalen Carter was trying to intimidate him before that altercation happened. How did you see him handle the Eagles' tough defensive front? And then how do you think he'll do against the Giants?
I think he handled it extremely well. I really thought he had a dominant showing, especially in his first showing against a great team. I think he'll continue to trend on that track. I think he's going to have a great game versus the Giants. I mean, we've had great practices these past couple of days, and he's been in tune with the game plan. He's been working the way he's been working all year. So,
Tyler, we hear hitters in baseball say when they make a connection with the ball, sometimes they don't even feel it. When you're blocking someone, is that the same case when you got someone? Do you always feel it, or are there times where you don't feel it even if you put a good look on a guy?
I mean, I think that's the beautiful thing about offensive line. It's always in the finish. It's not about how you start a block or what happens, throughout the duration of a block. It's how you finish the block. Like, you'll see plays where, things break down and a guy literally, just barely pushes a guy past and just gives, his running back or his quarterback that little lane to step up or that little lane to run through. And I think that's really where you kind of see, how good you are and how good you finish blocks. So, yeah.
How good do you think you finish blocks?
I'm always trying to get better every day. But, I think I got a solid basis,
Thank you.
No problem, yo.